Alright, this is for Savor Vino. Oh, Jesus Christ. Wait, I didn't even know. What do you normally say?
And welcome to Savor Vino.
Alrighty, I'm Jerry Fleming,
I'm Grant Butrago,
and this is Savor Vino.
and these are the 5 S's, part 2.
Boom! So we're getting into post tasting.
Yes.
This is awesome. Alright, so the fun part where we actually get to taste the wine. So as you can see right here, we poured ourselves up a little bit in our canteen, so our decanter, so we can have it breathe just a bit as we're getting ready to taste it. So it's gonna be real fun. I'm getting excited. We actually have tasted this wine on multiple occasions, and I think we've got this one down.
Right, yeah, because that's not really the point of this video, is to kind of show everyone how to go through the 5 S's process.
Exactly.
And how it affects your tasting of the wine.
So, what is it? We're just gonna get right into it now. Let me pour up you right here. So when we didn't get into our smelling portion, one of them was what you didn't want to have in your wine when you smelled it. Was it just like a vinegary smell? Typically indicates what?
It can be anywhere from cork taints or over-oxidation, things like that, or even yeast contamination. There's things you need to watch out for when you're drinking wines.
Yeah, those three are the ones that you look out for and give you that, like you said, vinegary, like that off taste and smell. So make sure you do not have that in your wine before you do it. So let's get a little swirl in before we get our sip on, just to release all the tannins. So what we also like to say is it increases surface area, so
Right, oxidates it a little bit more.
Alrighty.
Salud.
Salud.
So explain to us what that whole process was with the slurping.
Oh, that was just basically us trying to cover all of our taste buds and incorporate the oxygen within the air into our tasting technique. So when you do that, you want to try to release all the flavors that are within the wine using the airflow when you do that. So it just also helps cover all of your mouth too, because you're slurping and getting everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. You're hitting all of the different taste buds throughout your mouth.
Precisely.
So the reason that we want the wine to hit everything is not only do we get a full taste of it, but the different parts of your mouth kind of give you a different feeling when it comes to tasting wine. Like, for example, acidity, you really taste on the sides of your tongue. Freshness, for example, where do we taste that one?
Oh, that's what you mean, the sides of the mouth. So it was the side of the tongue, different from acidity to the sides of the mouth, they get a little fresher. So
yeah, the sweeter tasting wines, you tend to feel it more on the tip of your tongue. So yeah, it works to really get the full experience of the wine.
Exactly. And then was also tannins. We had a sense on the gums. So when you get that dry feeling, that's that's probably one of the easier ones to sense.
Yeah,
I feel
people typically associate that with wine, the dryness of wines.
Exactly.
So where do tannins come from?
Tannins actually come from the grape skins and stems when they're all mashed up. And actually, it's a combination of juice. It's a must. Was it the juice and the stems and grape skins mixed together? So that's the fermentation process. How it works, they put that in there, and that's what actually causes the coloration red in wines, or was it a rosé or other wines, that any coloration from it basically.
Yeah, depending on the different grapes, right? It gives you a different color, different taste.
Yeah, so then the must actually, ferments, they separate it, and then you get some tannins and stuff gets left inside when they try to fine it. Can't get everything all the time, so it gets a little left in there, so that's why you still get a little bit sometimes, specifically in older wines, because that has a chance to sit in there longer and I guess condense and concentrate.
Yeah, and then things like our Venturi over here kind of help to filter all that out, make it a little bit more pure.
I actually noticed, over the weekend, we were tasting with my father, and the Venturi is really good at filtering out a lot. But oh my gosh, some wines just, you can't filter out everything all the time. It's ridiculous. Like, I filtered out all of it, I thought I got a good portion, and oh my goodness, I had like a dime size at the bottom of my glass still. It was, so it goes to show you, like, old world wines, I believe it was a Cabernet Sauvignon, like from 2014 or something like that, or 2012. And it was absolutely delicious, just a little bit dry.
Yeah, right?
All right, so when we're talking about sweetness versus acidity too, like, what does that even mean? A lot of people, like, when we say acidic, they're like, what does that even mean? Like, all alcohol is acidic, like.
Yeah, so it's like that sharper taste that you also associate with the dryness that we were just talking about. But it kind of stands out to you as a typical wine taste, is like that the acidic feeling to it. Yeah, and then fresher, sweeter wines, they are a little bit smoother. They are just easier to sip on, easier to drink. And those are typically the New World wines that are going to be like that.
Exactly, like a little bit fruity flavors, a little bit easier going. So the more minerally, going to be the old world wines, a little more acidic, a little more warmth. Definitely a red wine type of characteristic, I would say. Just when you sip it, gives you that like warm feeling right there. Oh, it's very good.
So with the swish, after we aerate the wine and let it go throughout our mouth, we kind of swirl it around a little bit inside of our mouth so that we make sure to hit all those taste buds, the ones that we didn't get on the first go.
Exactly. Yeah, so let's demonstrate what that means. Just give it a little swish.
So you do get kind of a different flavor with the sipping it that we did before than the swirling. It is a little bit different because you don't get like the aeration as much. So at least for this one, personally, I think we've got a little bit smoother, just because you didn't have like that the airiness like bubbling it up almost.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, definitely made it a little sharper taste. I think when I was slurping it, I slurped it a little more aggressively the first time, and that definitely felt like a little sharp, peppery, almost spicy taste in my on my throat right here. So that was nice not to feel that. Oh yeah. So, and also sweet. I want to mention before it meant like it was a little bit more refreshing, more wet taste, or more moist. I would say, not like the opposite of dry.
Right.
For a wine. So that's the only other thing I wanted to add to that one.
Okay, so now on to the final S, the swallow or spit, depending on where you are and who you're drinking with. No, Jerry, not that kind of spit take.
What do you mean?
I guess that works. Now back to the 5 S's. We have our final one. So we're gonna be swallowing it or spitting it as we just talked about, depending on like what your goal is for the night. So what's the difference between the two? Like, does it give us any different taste with it? Or it's just preference?
It is honestly preference depending on who you're hanging out with. So if you're more of a business person and you're tasting 100 wines in one day, you are definitely going to be wanting to spit. You're still absorbing a little bit of alcohol when you are drinking just from being in your mouth, but you're not going to be absorbing as much as, taking 100 sips of wine.
Right.
Would totally, like...
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be tasting too much by the end of it.
Yeah, oh my goodness, no. So, like, and also for swallowing though, like, imagine having that with a nice cheese. It's a nice food combination when you just eat it with the both going down. So it's depending on if you're savoring food with your friends and a nice cocktail party or wine tasting, you definitely gonna be swallowing. If you're gonna be going out to a wine tasting and you have to take it seriously, I would definitely suggest, spitting out. Maybe if it's a really good wine, you want to definitely swallow. I mean, 1 or 2 is not bad, but I definitely wouldn't suggest swallowing too much if you want to taste anything. What is it? There's one study that says after, I think, even the first sip, your judgment is impaired from alcohol.
Exactly. Yeah, a little biased.
Exactly.
So that also helps out with, like, depending on the kind of tasting you're going to. if you have a certain wine that you really want to get the taste of, do that one first, because if you do it at the end of the day, you're not going to taste it as well as the other ones.
Exactly. Oh my God, yeah. What is it? Petrus or something like that? You definitely want to be ordering that like the beginning of the night.
Right. Exactly. So also another thing we'd like to add is that you're not just normally swallowing it like you would any other liquid. There's this also specific technique for this one. So do you want to describe that a little bit?
So like when you're drinking the wine, you want to make sure you let it slowly drip down your throat as you're getting it down. So instead of the spitting where you spit it out and it comes out the other way, you swallow it and let it slowly drip down your throat, so it has a chance to completely be savored by yourself. So if you want to demonstrate that for us, just a little. That's perfect right there. Just nice and slow.
Exactly, yeah. So if you notice, what I did was take a sip of the wine, swish it around my mouth to get all those flavors, and just kind of let it slowly drip down there. And then once it gets to the point where you have to swallow, then you swallow. And that really allows you to get like the last second taste of it hitting the back of your tongue and those taste buds that you typically wouldn't hit if you were to just swallow it like normal.
Exactly, like completely savors it. It's amazing. So, and then like, what is it? Instead of a joke take, we're actually gonna do a little real spit take now. So give me 1 second.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so spitting is also a nice alternative because it does get you like a slightly different taste to it, because the quick reaction with the air and in your taste buds is different than swallowing it and letting it savor on your taste buds. So yeah, after Jerry finishes, we'll see what different taste he got this time.
Yeah, definitely a lot different from when you just sip it. It has this, I don't know, like it's definitely a lot more fruity, a lot more sweet flavor. It gives it a whole entire new dimension.
It really is. Yeah, it really does make a difference.
Yeah.
Spitting it versus swallowing it.
Yeah, I kind of like it, honestly. I think honestly for like from now on, I think we might want to incorporate this at least like oh right, spitting it, like as our go-to, because
save the drinking for after the video.
Exactly. You guys see us have fun, and then we'll be fun after. Oh yeah, but so this has been absolutely wonderful. I loved educating everyone. Honestly, it's been so much fun.
Yeah, it's nice to show people that there's like almost a science that goes behind tasting wines. It's not just putting it in your mouth and swallowing. So.
Absolutely. So one more term we want to leave you with is the finish, which is what is it? You always hear the finish. Terms like we've been throwing around, like well balanced, the finish, tannins, acidity. All these like weird wine terms that you probably don't get exactly. So what is it? So for the finish, what do you?
Yeah, so the finish is the sensation that you get after you swallow it, that almost like burning sensitivity that you feel down your throat and then into your stomach. It leaves like almost a lasting effect. That's called the finish. It can last up to a minute, maybe even longer, depending on the wine and how strong it is and how strong the taste is. But it's just a nice little way to wrap up the whole wine tasting experience.
Yeah, that warmth or refreshing feeling, depending on white, red, or whatever wine you're tasting. So it just like gives you that little bit of like a full bodied wine. Right? It's very well balanced, has everything you're looking for, no one flavor dominating. So like if you have a good finish, you have it yourself almost wondering what kind of flavor it was. It was like, that was a sweet, delicious wine. I find that with a lot with ports are very overpowering with the sweetness in general, but those ones are very warm, and that would be the finish for it. It'd be a sweet, warm feeling.
It kind of stays with you for a little bit longer than the average wine.
Yeah, so white wine, what would you get for your finish? Like typically
it's a little bit lighter. You're not going to feel it as much. Of course, there are stronger white wines, but for the most part, it's a little bit lighter.
Yeah, like a lemony, almost freshness.
Exactly.
Yeah, so light. You can definitely drink that with like a lemon type of parfait type thing. That'd be delicious.
Absolutely.
And then reds, what would you think would be a good?
Chocolate, steaks, depending on the flavor and the sweetness of the wine, would be a good pairing. Yeah. Also cheeses and other meats like that. So
it'd be a nice like dark flavor for the finish,
right,
that warm flavor. I love it.
Exactly.
Yeah, good for warmth in the winter, that's for sure. And then so what is it we want to go over one more time was our how we all connected to our Robert Mondavi. Give me one moment. All right. So let's all connect it down to this bottle. How the 5 S's all throughout. So we're gonna incorporate elements from our first one. If you haven't had a chance to check out that one, I definitely suggest you do that so you can actually see it all makes sense here. Alrighty.
Yeah, so if we take a look at the coloring of the wine, what do you notice, Jerry?
Alright, we have a light coloration around the edges. It's not muddy, it's very clear. The clarity on there indicates it's not very mature. It's a younger wine. It's it's brownish, which tells me like brown and red, not too like muddy or anything like that.
Yeah, so the brownness does give away a little bit of the aging, which you know just by looking at the bottle. It was aged in bourbon barrels, so that's gonna reference the coloring, the brown coloring in there.
So and then like that was the seeing portion. So then after that, to see it a little bit better, if you want to give it a little swirl, then we'll go over a swirling technique real quick with that. Make sure you keep it on the table flat on there so it doesn't splash up everywhere, and make sure you have the right amount in there too. Alright, so you see the legs on there. We already talked about this, but they're not very prevalent. This is very light sugar content wine, I would say.
Maybe a little bit drier.
Yeah, so we're expecting it to be a little bit drier wine just from looking at this part right here. It's going to be not too dry though, because the edges right there are a little bit pinkish. It's not going to be, too mature, so that'll be a good one.
Exactly.
All right, and so after that we get a little sniff. All right.
Yeah, you can. The scents aren't too strong. They're not super overpowering, which after tasting the wine kind of makes sense because it's not a super strong wine.
Yeah.
It's pretty subtle.
Yeah, it really has that subtleness to it. I like that. Like the bourbon barrel flavor from it is warm, but it kind of just like gives it a balanced flavor. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. And if we want to take one last sip, swirl, and swallow, we get our lasting impressions. Yeah, it's nice and smooth.
Black cherry, almost flavor. I think we said raspberry before. Definitely got that in there. There was like some sugar notes. I noticed some brown sugar, definitely from that sweetness.
Yeah, I would say the strongest flavoring would be like that raspberry black cherry.
Yeah, and then we had a little bit hints of vanilla in there, which is really good. I like that.
Yeah,
that adds a little bit of it, just like eases everything together. Almost it takes everything. So for the finish, it was, I would say,
nothing too lasting.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed.
Yeah, definitely short. I definitely want to take another sip. It's very good though. It makes you want to take another sip. So that's how we basically go through our 5 S's, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you see us doing it on all the videos, so now you guys can really see what we're looking at when we're doing the 5 S's.
Yep. So now you can do what we do yourselves if you're ever with your friends and want to try and impress them. Shout out a couple facts. We did fact check a couple of these things, so it shouldn't be too incorrect. All right. But we really appreciate you guys tuning in, watching, and we hope that we have left an impact on you with this video, and you are able to take a little bit of this information to your friends and everything like that.
Of course, as always, be sure to check us out on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Savor Vino. We really appreciate it. If you have any suggestions as to what bottles we should be trying next, feel free to let us know.
All right, and as always, salud.
Salud.